Hey, I'm Allan from Strong Foundation Support, and I'm a counsellor and I've worked in the NDIS space since 2018, and I live with a disability myself. So I understand the NDIS from more than just one angle. I understand it as a professional, but I also understand what it feels like when the system is confusing, stressful, overwhelming, or when people feel like nobody is really listening. So in this video, I want to explain NDIS counselling in a really simple way. So what is it? Who can it help? What can it look like? And how participants and families and support coordinators and providers can think about counselling as part of somebody's wider support team. If this is helpful, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share this with somebody who might be trying to understand counselling under the NDIS. So NDIS counselling is definitely not about somebody being broken, and it's not about judging somebody, and it's definitely not about sitting in a room and being told what to do. Counselling is a space where people can slow down, talk through what's going on, and understand their emotions and build practical strategies to manage life. For NDIS participants, counselling may support emotional well-being, adjustment to disability, stress, anxiety, grief, anger, overwhelm, social isolation, family stress, or changes in independence. Sometimes people come to counselling because they're struggling with day-to-day life, and sometimes they're dealing with a new diagnosis, injury, disability, or even health changes. And sometimes they're exhausted from fighting systems, services, appointments, paperwork, funding problems, and feeling like they have to explain themselves over and over again. Counselling gives people a place where they don't have to perform. They can be honest, they can be heard, and they can start working through the things at their own pace. So if you're watching this and thinking, well, that actually sounds like me, well, you can visit strongfoundationsupport.com and book a free 15-minute introduction call with myself. Telehealth services right across Australia. So counselling can help people in different ways. For some participants, it may be anxiety. It may feel consistently, you might feel consistently on edge, worried about appointments, worried about people coming into their home, and worried about that change, or worried about what is going to happen next. For others, well, it may be stress and that overwhelm, and the person might have a full calendar of supports, but still feel emotionally exhausted. And, well, they may have support workers, therapists, families, coordinators, providers involved, but still feel like they're carrying everything internally. For some people, it may be anger or even frustration. And often underneath anger, there's that stress, fear, disappointment, shame, grief, or even feeling misunderstood. Counselling can help people who are adjusting to disability, injury, or diagnosis. That adjustment can be huge, and it can affect identity, confidence, relationships, work, independence, body image, parenting, social life, and future plans. And for people with psychosocial disabilities, autism, chronic illness, or complex support needs, counselling can help create a space where emotional experiences are not dismissed. The goal is not to fix the person. No, it's not. It's not to fix the person. The goal is to support the person to understand themselves, build tools, and feel more in control, and move forward in a way that actually makes sense for them. So if you're a support coordinator, recovery coach, plan manager, provider, or you know somebody who is emotionally stuck, overwhelmed, withdrawing, a lot of withdrawal, counselling may be worth considering as a part of the wider support network. So a counselling session does not have to be scary or clinical. It can be very practical. It might involve talking about what's been happening recently. It might involve about looking at patterns like, why do I shut down when I feel pressured? Why do I avoid phone calls? Why do I get angry when people tell me what to do? Why do I say yes to the things that I feel overwhelmed with later? And why do I feel like I'm coping 1 minute and then feel like I'm falling apart the next? Counselling can also include those practical strategies. Things like grounding techniques, emotional regulation tools, communication strategies, planning for difficult conversations, identifying triggers. That's a big one, identifying triggers. Reducing avoidance and working out what is actually within the person's control. It's really important. The things you can control and the things that you can't control. So it's not just grief after death, but grief around losing independence, losing a role, losing confidence, losing losing the life someone thought they would have. Sometimes counselling is about helping somebody find their voice again, especially when they've spent a long time being spoken over, assessed, reviewed, questioned, or treated like the problem that, they have to be managed. Good counselling should feel respectful. It should move at the person's pace, and it should be about working with the person, not talking down to them. So if you're unsure whether counselling would suit you, this is exactly why I offer a 15 minutes introduction call, and it's a simple way to ask questions before committing to those full sessions. And, well, one of the most biggest things that I've seen in the NDIS space is that people can have supports around them and still feel alone. A participant might have services in place but still feel unheard. Have you ever felt this way? You might have goals written down in a plan but not feel connected to those goals emotionally. They might even expect you to engage with supports, manage appointments and communicate with providers and make decisions to understand funding and cope with change, all while dealing with disability, mental health, trauma, family pressure, financial pressure, or even burnout. That is a lot. Oh boy, that is a lot. And when people are overwhelmed, they might not always communicate in a calm or organised way. They might cancel appointments, they might avoid messages, and they might get angry, and they might shut down. They might say they're fine, but when they're not. They might even disengage from supports entirely. This is why I really believe, and this is why I become a counsellor, because I believe it can help. Counselling can support the emotional side of engagement. It can help people understand what is happening internally so they can communicate more clearly and make decisions that feel safer participating in their own supports. For providers, this matters as well, because when a participant feels heard and emotionally supported, they may be more able to engage with the rest of their team. So if you're a provider watching this, you are supporting somebody who seems stuck, overwhelmed, shut down, emotionally dysregulated, well, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and discuss whether counselling may be appropriate. All my contact details are down in the bio. That's where you can find them. So my approach is very down to earth. I don't believe counselling needs to be full of jargon or complex terms or, in such a clinical clinical manner. Look, it's just like a conversation like we're doing right now. People do not need another professional making them feel small or confused or judged. I really do try to keep counselling real, respectful, and of course, give you the tools that is going to help every single day. My background is a little bit different because I have worked in the NDIS space since 2018, really focusing on coordination. So I understand some of the pressure participants, families, and providers can experience when support's unclear, when funding is confusing, or when people are trying to navigate multiple services at once. I also live with a disability myself. And, that does not mean I know everybody's experience because every person is different. But it does mean that I understand what it can feel like to move through the systems that are not always built with lived experience in mind. And I know what that is like when people make assumptions. Have you ever felt that? Leave a comment below when people make assumptions about your ability. I know what it's like when independent access, identity, and dignity are not just ideas, but daily realities. So when I work with people, I bring both professional experience and lived understanding, not to take over, not to tell people what they should feel, but to create a space where people can feel respected and heard, and of course, supported. And if that kind of counselling feels like something you or somebody would like, you can visit my website, strongfoundationsupport.com, and you can send through an inquiry on the contact page. So a few common questions that people may have. Can counselling be online? Yes, of course. Counselling can certainly be done online, and that's why I offer telehealth, I offer text message, and of course I offer phone counselling as well. So that is really important because it can be helpful for people who find travel difficult. We all know that. The NDIS is not built around travel. It costs a lot of money for providers to travel. And especially if you live outside of Cairns or if you feel more comfortable engaging from home. Do I offer in-person counselling? Yes, of course. I offer in-person counselling right here in Cairns and Far North Queensland. And if you're in the local area, I'm more than happy to do home visits. And is counselling only for people in crisis? Well, no, definitely not. Counselling can help before things reach that crisis point. In fact, it can be really valuable when somebody notices that they're becoming overwhelmed, withdrawing, or getting angry more often, or struggling to cope. And, well, can providers refer somebody? Yes, of course. Providers, support coordinators, recovery coaches, family members, or participants can reach out And the important thing is that participants is aware, involved, and comfortable with counselling. And do I offer a free introduction call? Of course, yes I do. Free 15 minutes so you can ask questions to see whether I'm a good fit for you. So to bring it all together, NDIS Counselling is not about fixing people. It's about supporting emotional well-being, adjustment, coping, confidence, communication, and connection. And can help people who feel anxious, overwhelmed, stuck, angry, isolated, burnt out, or even unsure how to move forward. And it can also help providers and support teams to better understand the emotional side of somebody's support needs. And if you're a participant, family member, support coordinator, recovery coach, and you'd like to know more, you can visit strongfoundationsupport.com. And you can book your free 15-minute introduction call, send an inquiry, or share this video with somebody who may need it. Thanks for watching. I'm Allan from Strong Foundation Support, and I'll see you in the next video.